good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
Oh, thank you for joining us on today's edition of Unity Train. Thank God it's Thursday. Thank you, our listener, and of course our viewer. It's good to have you. My name is Beatrice Adamo Iji, the Kobe, if you like. That too will go down well with me. Don't forget today, Thursday, is the 21st of September 2023. We beg that you stay tuned with us and enjoy the rest of today's broadcast, particularly Unity Train. I have on the studio of Unity 93.3 FM this morning an in-house analyst, a political scientist, Mr. Shoaibu Duro is with me. Shoaibu, good morning this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Colby. Good morning, listener and viewer. Thank you for staying tuned. Happy happy Thursday. Tomorrow is Juma. Sorry.
Yes, we can actually begin from today.
Yeah, maybe that is in advance. Yeah, yes. Well, okay then. Happy Juma in advance. Yeah, in advance. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning. We look forward to an interesting interaction as usual. We hope you're going to keep the discussions lively as you've always done by lending us sparing us a bit of your time until it's over for today. Thank you very much for always being there.
Thank you very much for always being there. There is just one thing you don't need to throw away, and what is that? The efforts to live in peace with your neighbor. Because if you throw it away, you will discover that is the most precious thing you need ever. And so, live in peace with your neighbor, and that's what we encourage on Unity 93.3 FM. We're reaching you live from the hills of ZINARIYA here in Jos City, Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism. Of course, on Unity Train, this first segment is newspaper review, and so let's begin just as usual. Oh my, Mr. Shavudoro.
Well,
I can't wait for us to go down to Kano.
Okay, well,
there are issues.
Lots and lots of
political
issues, yeah, and otherwise.
But also this the issues we have in Kano, well, not as it is in Kano, but the atmosphere, it's seemingly to what we have on the plateau at the moment.
Definitely.
Because a lot of people are waiting. But let us just go with this one that has to do on the Daily Trust. It says, ₦1 trillion spent on army in 3 years, enough to end insecurity, rep members. I just give it to you like that,
Yeah, well, as usual, you've always done that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think these are some of the things we have always talked about around it, because you see, we have always lamented the security situation in the country, which apparently has become a hard nut to crack.
Yes.
And it looks like we could say there has been some improvement in the past few years in the war, especially against insurgency and all of that, but there are still remnants of insurgent tendencies.
There's still work to do.
There's still work to do. It's not yet Uhuru, as it will always be said. It's not yet Uhuru. This is the issue, and so it looks like the security situation in the country has actually defied all available orthodox solutions and all of that. But despite that, we can't say that nothing can actually be done. And to be fair, we must give it to the security agencies, the army, the navy, let's just say the Nigerian military as a whole, the police, the civil defense corps, and other stakeholders in the security sector who have been in the forefront of fighting some of these persistent security problems and all of that. But having said that, Colby, it looks like you did say, there's still a lot of work to do. Especially when you look at how much money has gone into
the fight, right?
The fight against some of these existential security problems, and the fact that there seemingly hasn't been a commensurate result. This is the issue. I mean, having spent 1 trillion naira in the past 3 years on the security problems in the country and all of that, by now we should be able to go to bed with our, 2 eyes closed and be able to go to the markets to do, our economic activities, and all of that. But then apparently, there's still much more to be desired as far as this whole thing is concerned, which then actually may lend credence to the suspicion that the amount of money spent on security over the years hasn't actually paid off. You understand, as far as citizens' expectations are actually concerned. And so I think the revelation by the honorable rep member, I think it represents a certain constituency in Borno State, and according to him, he is in position to actually lend a voice on the security discourse in the country, having been a member of the House Committee on Security and all of that. This is the issue. And so if we must interrogate, this whole development, a whole lot of issues naturally will actually come up. This is the issue because, according to the rep member, in 2020, 420 billion was actually spent on the army. In 2021, 460 billion spent on the army. And then there was an additional 100 billion for Operation Lafia Doli. And then in 2022, another 591 billion also spent, on the Nigerian army. That is not to talk about what was voted for or allotted to, the Navy and the Air Force. We are talking about the army, the land army alone, as a component, of the military formation. This is the issue. And so I think that these sorts of revelations could be, actually call for some sort of introspection, some sort of a necessary interrogation into how these allocations have actually been utilized or spent over the years. There have been suspicions on the part of citizens that some of these monies that have always been voted for security and all of that have always ended up, well, we can't say all of it hasn't actually been spent on the purpose for which it was actually meant, but we can also say that not all of it, right, has been spent on the purpose for which it was actually voted and things like that, and that calls for concern. Transparency International, and other similar, research organizations have always, drawn attention to the need to sort of look into, the sort of sharp practices that seem to characterize, defense spending or defense expenditure in Nigeria. You understand? But apparently such calls have always fallen on deaf ears because not much has been done to probe, the manner in which, security, funds have always been spent. This is the issue. And you will agree with me, if you look at even the lifestyle, the lavish and apparently extravagant lifestyle of some high-ranking security officials today, you will discover that it actually raises more questions than answers. This is the issue. Some Nigerians will say that the fight against insurgency, banditry and all of that has seemed to have actually, offered opportunities for slush funds, for some high-ranking, of officers in the security sector and things like that. Well, at this point, we can't actually be pointing accusing fingers. We can't be naming names because we don't know who.
The agency appropriate for pointing fingers at good time, probably.
That will be done eventually, and we cannot be naming names here because we don't know who is responsible for what. But of course, we also feel that the needful needs to be done. I think that like the HAUSA person will say, Idoba Mudubeni Amaya Senkima, right? This is the issue. We might not be in the, we might not be stakeholders in the security sector and all of that, but I think that as enlightened citizens, right, as observers, as people who, are keenly interested in what goes and comes within the security sector and all of that, I think that we can actually say that some of these allegations, should not actually be, should not be taken with a pinch of salt, because there might just be more than what meets the eye as far as the persistence of some of these existential security problems are actually concerned. I think that actually needs to be looked at. This is the issue, and not just that. Could be. I think we must also add here, before we round up on this, that beyond the issue of just resource allocation, because it's important to spend money on security and all of that, because you need logistics, you need issues, you need to handle issues that have to do with welfare, and all of that. But beyond just that, I think there are, I will always say, some internal or systemic or structural issues that will actually need to be addressed before this fight against some of these problems can actually pay off or be effective. For example, there has been complaints, or there have been complaints that the personnel at the disposal of the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police, the civil defense, are actually grossly inadequate, right? And there's need for some sort of augmentation and things like that. That I think hasn't actually been done. Because at the end of the day, I think this whole issue of internal security should not even be. It should ordinarily be the exclusive reserve of the Nigerian police, and then the military can always come in on occasions where there are extraordinary situations and things like that, in aid to the civil authority, and all of that. But you can actually see that the whole responsibility of internal security has literally been ceded or surrendered to the Nigerian army. So the Nigerian military rather.
Okay.
And you can see the military is overstretched. I think as we speak, in more than 20 countries out of 36, the military is involved in one sort of special operation or another. They are overstretched, and so it becomes naturally difficult for them to be able to pay maximum attention to insurgency, banditry, and all of these issues. But if there was more, if we had much more than this number that we have, I believe it will be possible to make some headway. And then not just that, issues that have to do with welfare have to be looked into. Issues that have to do with synergy between the security formations, the military.
Okay.
The military, the DSS, the police, the civil defense corps, and all of that. All of these things, actually need to be looked at. And probably there's also a need for, some sort of, de-radicalization of, people who have been indoctrinated by some of these terrorist groups and all of that. And then finally, of course, there will also be a need to offer some sort of psychosocial support, to people who, repentant bandits and terrorists and all of these issues. So with that, we might be, making some headway as far as these issues are concerned.
Yes, Adoro, at this point again, we just go in to have the politics on, and let's see what we have.
Politics is always a recurrent decimal,
yes,
as far as some of these discussions are concerned.
Yes, so this one is on the nations. It's political cases consuming our time, Chief Justice of Nigeria, and this one is also political, so to say. It's from Vanguard. It says a tribunal verdict. Kano declares 24 hours curfew amid tension.
So that's sad, isn't it?
Let's just see what we can get on this. And this is following the judgment of the Elections Petitions Tribunal sacking the state governor Abba Kabir, and then now having given it to the APC candidates.
Yeah. So what is your decision? What job are you giving me? Am I taking the second or the third? Which one?
They are all political issues, and so let's just see how we can.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting here. You give me the job. Tell me, should I do this?
Oh, of course, let's go. Let's get to
at your beck and call.
All right, then. I take that since you've given it to me. Political cases consuming our time.
Wow. Well, could be, I think, of course, apparently, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, who swore in, 9 justices of the Court of Appeal yesterday, was lamenting the burden on the shoulders of the entire judiciary, and the need for some sort of, maybe a re-examination, of the entire, judicial processes in the country, and also the need to sort of, see what can be done to, probably, relieve the judiciary of some of the burden, it's been dealing with, and all of that. And I think that is quite timely and very, very instructive, could be, because at the end of the day, like we've always said, I think the moral health, the economic health, the political health, the entire well-being of every society, especially a modern society, is, I think, largely dependent on the viability or the vibrancy or the transparency or the integrity of its judicial, institution. This is the issue, because of course there will always be, recurrent conflicts here and there that will need to be handled, and things like that, so that some sense or some sense of civil order can actually be maintained. But when you have a situation where the judiciary, laments or complains of, being overburdened as a result of the prevalence of political cases here and there.
You just spoke on the issue of military also being overstretched.
Being overstretched.
And now we're having the
judiciary also being overstretched. And you see, it's a whole system, could be. It's just like the human, system. When one part of the body is not functional, another part certainly will be naturally affected. It's a whole system, and you discover that if one part of the system is not functioning optimally or properly, it affects the functionality or the well-being of another system. This is the issue, and don't forget, like we said earlier, some of these security issues will actually end up on the table of the judiciary, because when suspects are arrested and all of that in connection with murder, or banditry and all of that, it actually ends. The box ends on the table of the judiciary and all of that. Now, Justice Olukayode, the Chief Justice of the Federation, is actually saying that at the moment it's actually difficult for the judiciary to be able to pay maximum attention to other civil cases here and there as a result of the the quantum or the avalanche of political cases on its shoulders and things like that. This is the issue, and the law actually says, the Electoral Act specifically actually says that the court is part of the electoral process. That is why you see cases, political or electoral cases, always ending on the table of the judiciary and all of it's like the concluding part of the entire electoral process. And this is the issue. But having said that, Colby, I think we are having to contend with this particular situation now, as lamented by the Chief Justice, because of I think the judicialization of the electoral process. Experts have actually talked about the judicialization of elections in Nigeria. In other words, elections have sort of been judicialized, so that if you take away the judiciary, it is like we can't have elections anymore. And that is unhealthy for the electoral as well as the political culture, because it should not be. Elections ordinarily should start and end with the ballot box, right? When people go and cast their votes, they should be able to go back home, believing that their vote will actually count, and the person for whom they have cast their vote will actually, be declared winner and things like that. But we don't seem to have that. In fact, what we have at the moment, as far as the electoral culture is concerned, is a far cry from what ordinarily should obtain. This is the issue. And so I think the fact that elections have always ended, on the table of the judiciary is something that should actually be a cause for concern, because at the moment other civil cases are not receiving attention, because there are governorship petitions to be handled, there are state assembly petitions to be handled, there are national assembly petitions to be handled, there are all sorts of petitions to be handled. And of course, like we have always said, this seems to be a bumper season. It seems to be the season of plenty, for lawyers and judges and all of that, because as we all know, monies will always fly around and things like that. Political money bags who have lost out in electoral contests will be actually looking for ways to sort of will be looking for ways to sort of get the better of their opponents in elections and things like that. This is the issue. So lawyers, of course, this is their season, isn't it? Because of course a lot of money will be flying around and things like that. But again, while it could be described as a bumper season for lawyers and judges and stakeholders in the judiciary, at the same time, it is counterproductive for the functionality of the judiciary as an institution and all of that. And so the Chief Justice is actually saying that there's a need for politicians or political actors to learn to play by the rules of the game, right? So that when, you know, election results don't go your way, you know, there could be situations where you have to challenge some things, but at the same time, I think, according to even the Chief Justice himself, Nigeria is one of the most litigious countries in the world. In other words, it's one of the countries where, you know, politicians will always want to go to court, even where there is ordinarily no reason to do so. This is the issue. And so if only politicians will learn to be, you know, able to play by the rules of the game, accept defeat where necessary, and then only go to court where, you know, there is a compelling necessity, I believe that some of these burdens will be actually reduced on the shoulders of the judiciary, and thereby making it possible for the judiciary to be able to pay attention to other civil issues and things like that. And then, or just to round up on the issue of the 24-hour curfew declared in Kano State. Yeah, I think that that is timely, you know, and it's quite, you know, a wise decision on the part of the police command, you know, in Kano State, because, you know, like we did say yesterday, and like we have always said, you know, Kano State is one state that is unique as far as you know, northern politics is actually, northern Nigerian politics is actually concerned, probably because of its cosmopolitan nature. You understand, and I think again maybe the advanced, you know, nature of the political culture there, you know, and things like that. This is the issue. Of course, we all do know that, you know, Rabi Musa Konkoso, who is, you know, godfather to the incumbent, you know, who has just been sacked, Abba Kabir Yusuf, and his, you know, a former boss, you know, his erstwhile boss, former governor of Kano State, Umar Ganduje, you know, have actually gone, you know, their separate ways, and that seems to have actually pitched, you know, their respective supporters against each other. You know, and so with the judgment yesterday, naturally one would expect that, you know, there could be some sort of tension here and there. You know, there could be violence here and there if something is not done to actually, you know, to actually nip it in the bud. Yes. And so the police command has said that a 24-hour curfew has been declared, you know, in Kano metropolis, you know, between, you know, 6 p.m. yesterday and, you know, 6 p.m. you know, today, Thursday. You know, this is the issue, and we hope that that is going to, you know, sort of checkmate whatever is likely to, you know, emanate from the, you know, tribunal verdict, you know, yesterday. And we also urged Kano citizens to actually be, you know, be bold and selfless enough to accept the, you know, result of the tribunal with open arms, regardless of, you know, how it affects their sentiments, emotions, and feelings, you know, and all of that. At the end of the day, you know, there are other legal options that can be explored or activated by any person who feels aggrieved and all of that. And Kano must survive no matter what happens.
No matter what happens, Kano must survive. Now, still talking about Kano in the next 2 minutes, Mr. Shabatoro. Now, looking at the fact that Kano is that one state that we cannot afford to have, you know, security issues, you know, coming up as a result of...
Definitely.
So I'm thinking that what do you think the police should do best, apart from just, you know, having to impose curfew?
What should be done? Of course, the State Police Command has already deployed, you know, security personnel to actually, you know, man, you know, a flashpoint in Kano State and all of that, and I think that is very timely, you know, and wise. But beyond that, maybe there's need to sort of intensify public, you know, relations campaigns. You understand? There's need to continue to enlighten, you know, members of the public on the need to remain peaceful and calm. You know, because you can't afford to throw, you know, a state like Kano into trouble and all of that simply because you know, the result or the outcome of a tribunal didn't go your way or the way of your candidate, you know, and all of that. I think, you know, this is the issue. But like we did say, no matter what the police wants to do, you know, I think it boils down to the disposition, you know, of the citizenry, of the citizens of Kano State. If they want, you know, to bring down the roof as a result of this, you know, there's nothing the police can do to stop it. The police can play its role, you know, by way of attempting to arrest, you know, culprits and things like that. But at the end of the day, I think the decision to live in peace or to maintain peace and civil order actually starts and ends, I think, with the individual citizen. This is the issue. And so if we say Kano will be peaceful, it will be peaceful. But if we say we want to bring down the roof because, of partisan considerations and things like that, at the end of the day, let's not forget also that we will be the worst for it. Because if this happens, Abba Kabir Yusuf is not going to bear the brunt. Robbie Musa Konkoso will not bear the brunt. And Nasiru Gawuna will not be affected. It is you and I, the commoners, right, who will not be able to go to the markets or schools and other things. And so we need to watch it.
Oh, thank you very much, Doro. It's been nice, as always, having you in the studio.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you very much, our listener, and of course, our viewer at this point. If we choose to live in peace, of course, we will live in peace. It doesn't matter what. So let's continue to build on that. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, the discussion continues. Stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your Unity TV?
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune into Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Paul.
So much for still staying tuned to Unity 93.3 FM. Today is Thursday, the 21st of September 2023. This is Unity Train, your socio-political, socio-economic program on radio and, of course, on TV. We are reaching you live from the city of Jos, ZINARIYA, Plateau State, the home of peace and tourism. Beatrice Adamuiji is my name. Could be, if you like, happy just find. It's our responsibility to make sure we consolidate on the relative peace we're enjoying on the plateau. I have in the studio a colleague and a brother, an in-house analyst, a political scientist, Mr. Shaibu Doro, is in the studio. So, Shaibu, I'll let you say good morning to
as usual. Good morning, viewer and listener. Thank you for being there.
Okay, discussion has continued since the recent two contradictory judgments from the two panels of National Assembly Elections Petition Tribunal. The need to call for calm becomes paramount as part of a measure to consolidate on the peace-building effort sustained. The call for unity in the face of court judgment is our topic of discussion today, and I have a guest in the studio this morning. He is Engineer Kelvin Thanksin. He is seated to my right hand, and so I'll let him say a very good morning there. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Beatrice. Good morning, viewers.
Oh, thank you very much, Engineer Kelvin. Let's just begin by this, that, of course, we'll be talking about the need, to call for unity. But we'll be looking at the tribunal thing going on the plateau and other states that we have. Recently, in our last segment of this very program, we were talking about having to impose curfew in the city of Kano, 24 hours. And then we're having issues, judgment going on, probably even now in Plateau State. And so we'll focus there, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll get to look at how possible we'll call on, the need to be calm. And so, but let's begin this way. What even make it, necessary to challenge the victory of the PDP and, of course, its candidate and governor of Plateau State as it is now?
Good morning, viewers. Once more, Beatrice, these goods that we talk to ourselves and we understand ourselves better because there are narratives going around there that why are we challenging it, and people are questioning even our ground for questioning the victory of Barrister Caleb Mutfwang. But people have forgot to understand that democracy and election is a process, it's not an event. And part of the process, it did not even start from the coalition center, it did not start from primary election, it started from the congresses of the various political parties, because we operate within the framework of the law, because democracy, we run a constitutional democracy anchored on the rule of law, and if you breach one section of the law must definitely frown on it. And therefore, the same law cannot give two or multiple political parties different rules to operate with. It must be uniform, and every political party must operate in conformity with those laid down rules. That is our ground for challenging the victory of Caleb Mutfwang. That's ground one. Then the second one, as I said, election is not an event, it's a process. If you followed, you're a journalist, and perhaps I want to believe that you followed what transpired during the election at the coalition center, that's at INEC headquarters. You remember I was the same state coalition agent of the party? Yes. There were issues. They were raised, the issue of mutilating of results. There are issues of beavers. There are issues of differentiating people, most especially in Narakudabi, which they have about over 100 and something thousand registered voters, and the margin of win was just 40 something thousand, less than even 50,000, less than 45,000, of which then you differentiate about over 100,000 people. If they were given the chance to vote, perhaps it might have changed the direction of the victory. And besides, it's not who wins, but we're challenging even you differentiating thousand, hundred of people from voting. So these are the two grounds. The first ground is the issue of the structure of the party, because the party has not operated in conformity with the laid down rules of the Nigerian constitution when it comes to structure of political parties, because we don't run independent candidacy in this part of the country. We don't. Yes, we don't have independent candidates. You know that. Therefore, we are challenging the fact that they don't have a structure. And this issue did not even start with APC. It did not start with APC. We're laying the background for people to understand. It's imperative that people understand the background. Who was the first person to challenge the structure of PDP? Was it a different political party? The answer is no. It started within PDP. It was established within PDP that PDP did not have a structure. The next point that began to act on this is the PLASEC. During the local government election, PLASEC said, you don't have a structure, therefore you cannot be allowed to participate in the local government election. Haven't gotten the first court injunction from the PDP who served the PLASEC, which is an institution. PLASEC is not a political party, but an institution. That was the beginning, right? That case, it started from the court of first instance to appeal court, and PDP lost. The first one is Justice Gang, which is between PDP. Then the second one between an institution and PDP, which is PLASEC. Then from the court of first instance to appeal court to Supreme Court. So if you count Justice Gang, Kunda, then appeal court, then Supreme Court, that's 4 times there. They all lost. In the Supreme Court, it was dismissed. It means they all lost. Then comes the issue of PRP. They went for a run, just not Basa. PDP got the popular vote. PRP took them to court, and court affirmed the decision of the previous court that PDP did not have a structure to even stand the election, and it was given to PRP. PDP appealed to appeal court. They got to appeal court affirmed the decision of the tribunal. So first one 4 times. This is 2 times, 6 times. This case is appearing before different judges, right? Then the Pangshin South, APC won, PDP took APC to court, court told PDP, you don't even have the locus standi, which is the qualification to challenge the victory of APC, because in the first place you were not even qualified to stand the election because you don't have structure.
Okay.
Yes. So from there, the same PDP proceed to appeal court. That case appeared before another panel, before another judge, and they affirm it. You don't have a structure. That's how many times? The first one, 1, 2, 3, 4. This PRP 1, 2, 6 times. This one 1, 2. That's like 8 times. This case has appeared before different judges, different judges, and they gave the same verdict on the same subject matter. Now after the election, you can see APC did not initiate this.
Okay.
Yes, for people to know, APC did not initiate this.
But
Then the same court asked PDP, you don't have a structure, go and comply with the decision of the court. The court asked them, go and conduct what? Local government, zonal, and state congresses. Was that done? The answer is no. How did we know? Because they were certified true copies of all that they said they did. And we presented them before the court of law, which is the tribunal. They didn't do the what? They didn't do the local government. They didn't do the zonal. And they went straight that they want to conduct state congress. And what happened? During the state congresses, only 5 local government participated. Imagine you want to conduct presidential election, 17.
5 out of 17 local
Yes,
government
which is less than what? The thought.
Now, engineer, sir,
Yes.
if you say they didn't have a structure, I really wonder what that's supposed to mean, because as far as the PDP is concerned, as far as the argument is concerned,
Yes.
they actually did conduct congresses led by, Honorable Dakas Shan. A caretaker committee led by Honorable Dakas Shan conducted congresses for the PDP, which we actually presented, which actually produced excos that presented or fielded candidates.
That
for
is the point I'm telling you. How many
elections.
local government participated? I'll give you the detail. I'm not the court of law, right? I'm only telling you the position of the court of law, that every decision taken by the court of law is binding on every Nigerian citizen. Is binding irrespective of your status, right? Only 5 local government participated. And that caretaker committee that came to conduct the election, it was under the supervision of one caretaker committee whose tenure expired on the 10th. Then the election took place on the 25th of that same month, which is September. And during that Congress, that said Congress, let me put it that way, during that said Congress, there was a court injunction from Panshin that restrained the Congress from taking place, and they were served. They were served that they were not even qualified to even conduct it. That is even illegal. If we don't respect court orders, if we don't respect our judiciary, we're just talking about the verdict that was passed in Kano, and people are trying to register their dissatisfaction, whether they're right or wrong, and there's curfew. Who that gonna help?
Okay.
Because the curfew has now paralyzed what? Commercial and economic activities in Kano.
Definitely.
Right? But because people are not ready to respect the law of the country, the constituted authority. When they were declared winner in Kano, the other party, was there any curfew in Kano? Those people accepted it and they proceeded to the next court.
In fact, I recall that Dr. Nasiru Gawuna, in a 2-minute video, actually, conveyed a congratulatory message to Abba Kabir Yusuf, and saying that as a Muslim, he had to accept the will of Allah and just move on.
That is it.
And it was his party. It was his party, the APC, that decided to challenge and not Gawuna, as a person.
That was why there was no protest, no, you understand, no chaos in Kano. The same thing with Dr. Nente here on the plateau. When they declared his opponent, the winner of the election, did you hear anybody protesting? Was there any curfew on the plateau? There was no curfew. There was no chaos. There's no inflammatory statement, no inciting statement. There was no church environment. The people were scared. They allowed those who have been declared winners to go about their jubilation, right? But just like we said, election is not an event. It's a process. And it starts from the world congresses, local government, zonal, state, federal. It bounced back to primary election. After the primary election, you go for general election. After the general election, you can go to first court. We have layers of courts. From tribunal, you can go to appeal court. From appeal court, you move to Supreme Court if you're not satisfied. So why must people protest? Why must people charge the environment, make it unconducive for economic and commercial activities? It's uncalled for. If you believe in yourself, just like we believe in ourselves, and we went to court. And I want to give you all this background. Why all this conflicting judgment?
Good. I think you're coming to, my next question.
I was laying because you said it.
Yes.
So I was laying the foundation for people to understand. When we skip one stage, people will ask us questions.
All right.
So that people understand us very well. Now, the tribunal were set. Everybody submitted his petition. Both sides, because there are elections that were won by PDP, and APC is challenging. There are elections that are won by APC, and equally PDP is challenging. Both sides. Now we appeared before the tribunal, all of us. The first tribunal that gave the first judgment is the last to commence sitting on the plateau. Because there's this narrative that they are accusing the second court that gave the first judgment, which favors both Labour and APC. Not only APC, but people always narrow the argument as if it is between APC and PDP. We are saying no to that. Anybody who is selling that narrative is trying to mislead the public. Both APC and Labour Party and PRP went to court to challenge that. All the political parties who came second to PDP. Just like PDP is challenging some of the positions in APC. So people, because I was on radio program yesterday and somebody called, why must doctor go to court? But these are Labour, let me be frank. I know the people to be Labour supporters. How I wish they would have written letter to Obi not to go to court. What is wrong in going to court? There's nothing wrong in going to court. That is the right place to go. Once they're in court, you don't hear any noise on the street. If you're not satisfied, just like in the first court, PRP lost. That first court, that is that of William Rotimi.
Yes.
PDP, APC lost, PRP lost, Labour lost. Three parties all lost to PDP. Nobody raised an eyebrow.
Based on that judgment.
Yes. And the judgment in that court favored one party, PDP. And three parties lost to PDP, all of them. Then the second court, in this second court, APC is equally a beneficiary of that judgment, and Labour is equally is equally a beneficiary of that judgment. Right? Then people are raising eyebrow. This is where we want people to understand. If that is the court that came last, 3 weeks after others have started, and is the first court to pass her judgment, and that's the first time among the numerous judges that judgment that I've told you, on the same subject matter, that court is the first to deviate from the previous judgment, not to align with them.
Deviate in what sense, sir?
Yes, that is giving a contrary judgment from these previous ones. Because it has always been PDP doesn't have structure. PRP, PDP no structure. Plastic, PDP no structure. APC, PDP no structure.
So
but that was the first time.
Are we saying that every judge just simply has to...
No, that's not my point. That's not my point, sir.
Because I will want to think that Justice Williams Rotimi actually acted on the basis of what was presented before him.
Nobody is... Why we are even discussing this thing today is because after the Tukur judgment, then people want to pull the roof down everybody. But you can see what happened in Rotimi's court. When the verdict was passed, was delivered. PRP, Labour Party, and APC, they all proceeded to what? To appeal court. Did you hear any noise in town? There was no noise. No noise at all. Because we believe that the interpretation of the law is subjective.
Yes.
That is why you always have multiple court for appeal. That is why even the composition of judges is always in odd number. But we're responding now. If you question that of Tukur, the judgment of Tukur, then the judgment of Rotimi is even more questionable. Because I can say previous judgment, different judges align with themselves. Then one man who deviated and nobody raised any question, because we believe that that is his understanding of the law. But this man, that of Tukur, he aligned with the previous judgments. So I can, to me, a rational mind can easily excuse Tukur is William, judge of judges.
Because he is acting on the basis of some precedences.
Yes, precedences. And every law, you cannot take away the issue of precedence. You cannot take away the issue of precedence. So if you are to question, you must question the one that did not align. But those people did not even question it. Those that the man that did not align with previous judgment did not even question it. They said, that is your perspective, no problem. Why the institution is built this way, in such matter, so that in such situation whereby I'm not satisfied here, I move to the next place. But in this case, this is the first time someone just aligned in the tribunal with the previous judgment, and you are saying you don't agree. Hear what a former deputy speaker and former House of Assembly, a former House of Reps is saying, that they will not accept no judge. Who is that person to say no judge? Who is he? He has been in the National Assembly. The law he passed, he must have been in the National Assembly either for or against. He must have passed some law. Did he think that everybody was okay with the law? There are certain laws that some people are not okay, but they must live by it. That is how society grew. It mustn't always go your way.
Yes.
When they were declared winners, we knew there were irregularities. We challenged some at the tribunal, and I was later vindicated. I told them at the coalition center that day that what the EO in Just Not did was usurpation of power. At the end of the day, even the state coalition officer of representing INEC, he said it to the hearing and to the watch of the wall that I have a case. That was what he said, that I have a case. He admitted openly, verbally, that I have a case. But nothing was done. Despite that, we didn't make an attempt to pull the roof down anybody. We allowed them. They were sown in there enjoying the government the way they wanted. Nobody said anything. But we said, okay, since there's another platform, the best place to seek redress. We've been there. Were they thinking the judges were legal advisors of PDP? If they were not ready to even accept any verdict from those tribunals, for me, the best thing to do is they would have said, we will not allow any tribunal to take place. We will not appear before any tribunal, so that we know they are above the law. Because the judges were not PDP legal advisors. They are judges of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Appointed through a legal process.
Processed. They move freely because there's a law. The declaration of INEC in their favor was backed by law. As I was saying, in Adamawa, when the REC went and declared Binani the winner, the INEC in Abuja, they voided it. They wrote and they voided it. They said that's usurpation of power. That is not his job. But the EO here, he even admitted in the coalition center here that he went and intervened, which is unlawful. I used the exact phrase they used during that coalition here, usurpation of power, and exactly what INEC used to void the decision of the REC in Adamawa State. So we took all this before court. It's not on the issue of structure alone, but the issue of rigging too, in Mangu, in Josat, and so many places. So the impression and the narrative being presented in the public is wrong, it's misleading. That is why it's imperative for us to tell the public this is the truth. And that same judge, we're analyzing all the judgment. In that same Rotimi Williams, he delivered a judgment of 56 pages within 30-something minutes. This is something that took hundreds of days. Even if you summarize everything that happens in a day in one page, it should be more than 100 pages. But they were delivered within 30-something minutes, 56 pages. And this same man, during the preliminary objection, I'm not a lawyer, but at least if you contradict yourself, I will know. I must not be a lawyer before I know that you are contradicting yourself. If you tell me that this man is both tall and short, is that not a contradiction? I don't need to be a lawyer. One person cannot be both tall and short. The same person who said APC has the local standing, that is the qualification to challenge that case under his supervision or leadership, the same man during the final delivery of the judgment said they don't have. He said it's a pre-election matter. Once he said it's a pre-election matter.
Let me interrupt you here, sir. Isn't it actually supposed to be a pre-election matter as because ordinarily, and if you look at some of the judgments, some of the decisions taken by certain courts as far as this whole issue is concerned, and if you look at even some of the laws that are supposed to guide some of these intra-party and inter-party issues and all of that, I think the consensus seems to be that issues of nomination, issues of structure, and what have you are supposed to be issues that are strictly internal, and so nobody from another party should have the local standing to be able to challenge same and all of that. Wasn't Justice Williams Rotimi right to have said that
let me answer you, Doro. Two things are there from all that you just said. You talk about it's a pre-election matter, right? It's an internal affair. Two things. No, these are two different things. There are internal issues and there are external issues. I said it initially. The same country cannot give two different political parties two different laws to operate with. They cannot. The law says you must have a structure. You must have a political party. And the political party must sponsor you. If you fall short of that, you are not qualified to participate. But again, whether it is a pre-election matter or not, you should know that you and I, a judge like Rotimi can do it, but not you and I. That is why for me, I'm not questioning it. I am questioning his contradiction. If from the onset he has said this is a pre-election matter and he declined jurisdiction, and he said, I'm not going to continue with this case dismissed. We move to the next call. But we're questioning the contradiction. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know whether you get me. The same man cannot say it is not. Then the same man said it is. That's why I use the analogy. You cannot say this man is both tall and short.
You mean
that's contradiction? Yes.
He contradicts himself?
Yes. He contradicted himself.
At what point did he...
During the preliminary objection, PDP objected that APC did not have the local standing to challenge this case. But the man ruled that they have. But during the final judgment, he now said it's a pre-election matter. Once it is a pre-election matter, it means APC did not have the local standing.
In the first place.
Yes. And the same man declared jurisdiction. If he had declared jurisdiction, there would have been no need to even listen to the case. You took people time, resources, everything. This is just a contradiction. I told you I'm not a lawyer, but before that time, what we're talking about, whether it's a pre or not, there are judgments that has proven that it's not a pre. The case of Goni. So that's precedent already. There's a precedent. So me, I can't just say no. But all I'm saying is, if the man had maintained one direction and he delivered a judgment, we move to the next this thing without questioning his contradictory delivery.
Okay, engineer, I think in the next 2 or 3 minutes, I want you to describe, how best would you describe the political atmosphere on the plateau, and then maybe a call for, sustaining peaceful coexistence.
On the plateau?
Yes.
the political atmosphere. Well, peace is a product of your mental being. It normally started from your mental sphere. Yes. If you don't have peace within yourself, you cannot give peace to the world. They said everyone gives what he has. That's the way it is. For me, for now. Maybe yesterday, maybe in the nearest future, but for now, those who are objectives must give it to APC. The leadership of APC, Dr. Nintawe Yilwada Goshwe. You can see his followers are watching his body language. It's peaceful. Look at all other aspirants. The Gangzi, he lost. He moved to to appeal court. I am calling on others to emulate these guys. If we don't respect our judiciary, then even you, that you are shouting, you will not agree. Where are you going to register your dissatisfaction? Is it not in the same court of law? If you are disparaging judges, they are not perfect human beings. Just like you are not perfect, like most of us who have been in the position of leadership. Not all that we did that was perfect, but people still tolerate us, and they say allow us to interact with them. Nobody pelted any stone, but maybe one of your policy must have affected him. But you look at it and say, well, he's a human being.
After all.
Yes.
Okay.
So that level of understanding, tolerance, yes, that you will not always have them all. And we must respect constituted authority. If we don't do that, definitely we'll always have a chaotic environment that none of us stand to benefit from it.
Oh, thank you very much, Engineer, for being in the studio and then having to throw all of this background, and then that leads to what we have on the plateau. At this point, our listener and our viewer will just go on a short break again, and when we come back, it's going to be your time to join us in the studio. Stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your Unity TV?
Attention, it starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill law, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
once again for still staying tuned to Unity 93.3 FM and Unity TV this lovely Thursday morning, the 21st of September 2023. It's been a good one as we have been talking issue that concerns politics on the plateau. I have in the studio as a guest with whom we have looked into that topic, Engineer Calvin Bangshin, and together we'll continue on this segment even as you begin to call in, and let's hear your own side of the contributions, of course. In case you just tune in on anyway, this is Unity Train, and Beatrice Adamu Iji remains my name. Doro, the big man there. Of course, at the end of this, I will let you know that he is the producer of Unity Train. He has been in the studio since the very first main segment of Unity Train, a newspaper review, and he's still in the studio this morning. So if you call us, just tell us your name, where you are calling us from, and then go straight and make your own contributions. Remember, of course, we will not tolerate comments that will jeopardize the peace-building efforts on the plateau, and so let's just have your contribution. Stick to the rule of peace-building, and that is it. If you want to be live with us also, you go to Unity Radio FM/TV JOS on Facebook, and you'll be live with us, and then on YouTube as well. Those of you who have it on TV, you have the channel there, and so you get it with us, and let's go on. So before you call, you begin to call. If you want to send your SMS too, please do that very quickly. I'm beginning to receive some already, because most often when we are done before we begin to receive your SMS, and it's not too good for us. We really want to read it on because you have a very vital contributions for the program. And so Mr. Calvin, please, you said this is not an event. Is a process, you said. I want to believe I get it right.
Yeah.
All right. It's a
Correct.
process.
Yes.
Now, you are taking on the process. You're going on the process.
Yes.
It's like a pregnancy,
Yes.
so to say. You don't know what in the end it should deliver.
Yes.
So whatever it gets to deliver in the end, I want to believe you are here. So do you think you will accept it?
Our previous actions have shown that already.
All right.
When we're not declared the winners at the collation center, you can hear, you can see our body language, you hear our voices. All we said is, let's move to the next point, which is the court. And when we were the first to lose in the Rotimi Williams panel, you see it from our body language too. We proceeded to the next court because that's our understanding.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
So I will continue to do that. I think those who are not accepting it are those that should be called to order. Yes, you can see voice, you can see videos trending on social media. Some people have been on television. In short, it is their reaction that necessitated even my presence here today.
Oh, thank you very much for that. And then let's begin to receive our calls this morning. Our first caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kuti.
Thank you very much.
And good morning, the guest in the house. Good morning, Doro.
Thank you, sir.
It's Ambassador Abdullah Rochuboy calling from Zengai.
Okay, you have a minute, please.
The guest in the house, he make money. Situation plateau is given to us all.
Thank you.
Some people, it's like, they don't like plateau state. They only like their self, which is very sad. Maybe your judgment passed in plateau state. Nobody do video. Nobody accusing people. But at the second judgment, people are doing video, cutting people, abusing people, abusing moms. It's very bad. We have to learn how to do with anybody. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, put me anywhere. That's like I respect voice of creativity. I'm telling you. They will not allow this thing to happen. For the first instance, I went to that in if you know what will happen at this level, at the end of the day, the boys didn't receive anything. They break the glasses of Aziz Yanko, which is very sad. Youth are coming of youth now.
Yes.
You have to learn. Because if you are fighting for agency, for community, what will they are based on the same leader? You can never die twice.
Thank
You
you.
die only once. Respect yourself, respect your family, and respect the people of Nigeria and Plateau. I come in peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abdullah Keyboard. This one, an SMS says, Plateau first and is bigger than all of us. Nobody knows when we shall leave this world except Allah. To the joy which you give to others will surely come back to you. Let's love others as we love ourselves. The best of charity is reconciliations. Therefore, endeavor to reconcile the people at any given opportunity. Hassan, we appreciate. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Adewumi calling you from Bauchi.
You're welcome, Adewumi.
Thank you very much. I continue to bless you.
Amen,
This
Adewumi.
is Mr. Kuzi.
Yes.
I think you are blessed in the studio.
Thank
You
you.
see, we believe in this nation that justice must prevail.
Yes. Hello, Adewumi. Oh, we lost Adewumi. We apologize. We just cannot say why at the moment. Yes, another one here. This one is saying, good morning, Kubi, Doro, and the guest of Truth Religions have done terribly in Nigerians politics. Just because each religion wants to show that it's the only most important in the country, why the judiciary should do the needful so the blood will not be shared. Peter Bala from Gumau. Okay. Peter, we appreciate sending in yours. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Okay, maybe there is a technical issue there. You can just join us if you must. 070-3235-3315. That's the studio line. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Kuzi. I think it's network.
Adewumi, you're back. It's good to have you.
Yes, thank you very much. You see, I said, justice has to prevail.
Yes.
We believe in that. But in a situation where people will vote and they will be under the sun, and the judiciary will and the INEC are supposed to energize to know any challenges, because you see, this type of issue are not supposed to be occurring. We are not supposed to be seeing this type of issue that people's lives will be. You see, politicians are continuing to play politics.
Okay.
But Nigerians are passing through a lot. You know, justice must be there. But you know, in a situation where now you now know, is the INEC now that will declare a winner of an election or court? You see, that is what is discouraging other people from voting. And by so doing, you see a lot of challenges. So the judiciary needs to be diplomatic in their judgment.
Okay.
They just have to do the needful, because the way things are just, imagine what is going on in Kano now. People cannot go to their business, a lot of challenges because of judgment. You see, we want to have a leader like President Goodluck Jonathan, who, irrespective of whatsoever has happened, accepts peace and congratulated the president. And the apple did not fall. He's still living.
Thank you.
So I think that our politicians see if you can become a leader when God says you be a leader, you definitely become a leader. So let them put Nigerian first. Please let them put Nigerian first, Plateau State first. Wherever we find ourselves, let's always embrace the path of peace, because all we clamor for in this nation is justice.
Thank
and
you very much.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Adewumi, for calling. Good morning, Kubi and Mr. Doro. Kudos to Mr. Doro for the wonderful and objective analysis. Honestly, it's so unfortunate that some of our religious leaders manipulate people into doing the wrong things, like voting a wrong candidate just for the gains they get. It's time we start following our hearts and choose our conscience, irrespective of tribe, religions, or political affiliations. We are all made in the image and likeness of God, whether Christians or Muslims. So let's begin to tolerate, respect each other, and be united for the good of our country. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM and Nigeria. This one is coming from Christy Izang from Rukuba Road. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, please. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah, it's Abraham Douglas. I'm calling from Suna.
It's good to have you, Mr. Abraham Douglas.
Thank you so very much.
You have a minute, please.
Yeah, everything is doing good.
Thank you.
What I want to say in this regard is that a judiciary or the INEC are not the two bodies that are supposed to determine who rule the people. It is the people that determines it.
That's true.
And so when things go wrong, then the person has to express his grievances at the court.
Okay.
But what I want to say here is that the only thing that guarantees peace and unity in any country is justice.
Okay.
And so when justice is denied the people, then you don't expect peace. So the judiciary has to be up and doing to ensure that there is justice in the land.
Okay.
That will guarantee peace, security, and unity.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. Oh, thank you. Let's speak more. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Very dynamic morning to you, my dear presenter.
Oh, thank you very much, sir, for calling. Who is on the line, by the way?
Thank you. God bless my brother. This great comrade, I don't give a Solomon calling from HAJARKU.
It's good to have you. And you have a minute, please.
Don't worry. Thank you for having me. You see, I agree to your the question I want to ask here is that who is taking PDP to court? Is it INEC? Is it PLATEAU? Is it or other political parties?
Yes.
Okay. That is the question. Why? And if it is INEC, then why did INEC allow PDP to the lack of structure? Why did they allow them to protect the federal election and other elections?
Okay.
And if it is PLATEAU, PLATEAU doesn't have power to restrict PDP because PLATEAU didn't register any political party.
Okay.
That is for sure.
Okay.
And then, if it is some members within the political party, that is PDP, which they always say they don't have structure, I would like to hear from those members of the PDP to come to the air, come on air on any of the media to confirm to Plateau people that PDP doesn't have structure. If not, I don't think I will agree that PDP doesn't have structure. But here is some other positions. And let me tell you, sir. I want to tell you, and the INEC.
Yes.
But the problem of our democracy, and if we can see the green light of the day, the democratic policy in this country, because INEC has compromised, which is supposed to be a neutral body.
Okay.
Judiciary has compromised to have told their professionals to be a business venture. Which will live, and we will succeed the democratic policy in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. Yes, you would have a time. You have time to respond to all of that. Who took PDP to court? Hello, good morning.
And the issue of somebody.
Good morning.
Oh, thank you very much. Who's on the line this morning?
Thank you very much. My name is Mr. Palibaba.
Okay, from Angwanda Masa. Okay, you have a minute, please.
Hello?
You have a minute, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm Mustafa Alibaba calling from Angwanda Masa.
You are welcome. You have a minute, please.
Thank you very much. I just want to call the attention of our people here in Latin.
All right.
That politics, again, like the rules and regulations.
Okay.
If you abide by the rules, there's nothing that will touch you.
Okay.
And there's nothing that you care about. Now, there is a change of government in the Kano State tribunal system that held yesterday. That the present governor was not able to secure the seat because of lack of merit on the part of the rule that gave him the mandate to become the governor.
Yes.
Now they have refused from and the executive people who were to APC.
Thank
so
you.
We should consider that INEC has rules and regulations. We should abide by the rules. I think the rules that give them the mandate to conduct the election.
Thank you.
nothing will happen negatively in the tribunal.
All right.
So we should just continue to pray for peace.
Thank you.
Allah bless you, sir.
Amen to that.
Nigeria and all other parts of the world.
Amen. Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a rule, and you have to abide. And when you do, you would have nothing to be worried about. Okay? Some more than Doro would help.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Hello, good
Hello?
morning. Good morning. We are on with you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Who's on the line?
Okay. I'm phoning to say that if the electoral tribunal continue the way they are going, they are inviting the military to the scene of democracy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, my name is Ellis. I'm calling from Hoshi.
Thank you very much, Felix, for calling. Doro, please.
Yes. Okay. Just a few here as usual. We have this from Ismail Isa, says, good morning, gentlemen of the president, your guest. We are so glad to be here with you for your unbiased, educative and political analysis on radio. Thank you. And this is coming from Kabir Ibrahim. He says, good morning, gentlemen. I'm watching you live from Ijebu Ode, Ogun State.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful,
That's great.
isn't it? All the way from Ijebu Ode. Abdullahi Rocky Boy, who called earlier, says, good morning, Kobi, and Doro, keep doing the needful. Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu, good morning, Kobi and Shuaibu Doro. Thanks God first for another day. I'm watching you live from Benue Links. I'm calling the people of Kano State to remain in peace, and also if they think that the court judgment is not satisfied, if they are not apparently, he means if they are not satisfied with the court judgment, they can appeal it. Thank you, Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu. Asobagun Francis, good morning, gentlemen. Keep educating us on a daily basis. We'll do that, Mr. Francis. And then he says, tell people who make bogus, right? Tell people who make bogus allegations should be told to prove it. Politicians and leaders don't obey court judgments concerning leadership. That is mismanagement. And then, okay, at the moment, I think...
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
let's pick some more calls.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. My name is Comrade Masu Patrick Okorocraft. I'm calling from Major School here in Anglo Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. Well, thank God today was the World Peace Day. World, at least in this station, you have been calling to the guest. Come and speak of peace. How do we get this peace? Now, what do we do? See what the youth are doing in Kano. Is that how we are going to get the peace? Now, you ask yourself, how do we move forward? That is why there is need for the people at the top. Wherever you find yourself, make sure peace reigns. Because if there is no peace, there is no development. Now look at the massive destruction going on this morning, or today.
Yes.
How do we recover those things back? And people are starting on palliative, food, this and that. Those things are not forthcoming. And look at what this NEPA is telling us now. Everybody says power freedom, grid has fallen, grid has failed. For how many years? We have to sit down. Secondary schools, primary schools, tertiary institutions, teach people, the community leaders. Let this reign. If there is no peace, no development, no movement, nobody is coming to invest in any place where there is nobody. See what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. What is happening there? And people are this, as you can see, this is an advanced country. And they say anything that happens, they take action. But here in Nigeria, when something look, tell me, where are those people going?
Thank you.
How are the ones they feel? Some of them with their daily giving, all this is washed away. God bless.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, brother, at least we practice peace. Let us embrace peace. That is the only solution. Indigenous, no indulgence, forget about it.
Yes.
Look for somebody who is ready to deliver. Good morning. Banzokraft from Major School here in Agruto.
Thank you, indigenous, non-indigenous. Yes.
This is 1-2.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Please
we
go
have Muhammad Tajuddin. He says, good morning, gentlemen. Abba Gida started destroying himself when he allowed himself to be used by his master to fight a proxy war. The prayer of those people he destroyed, their properties, could never have been in vain. I hope he will maintain the relative peace we enjoy here in Plateau State. I hope we will maintain the relative peace we enjoy here in Plateau State before and after the tribunal ruling, because both Mutfong and Nintawi are true sons of Plateau. and no one is more Plateau than the other. Muhammad Tajuddin from Rabuta. Thank you, Muhammad Tajuddin. And Ishakia Ukamwa says, good morning, Unity crew. Kudos for your wonderful job. Keep it up. And then Murtala Yahya Mehidya, good morning to you all, Mr. Shoaib Buduru and Kulbi, and the guests. Keep up the good work. God bless Nigeria and Plateau State as a whole. Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, I think at the moment, this is what we have.
Okay, we have just a few minutes to be out of here on the segment, and of course for today's edition, but I have this one to read. Say, good morning, Plateau. First, I am indeed very grateful to the guest for his kind and thoughtful. Patience, tolerance, and forgiveness are among the good attributes. May Allah enrich us with such attributes. Accept our worship and grant us all a blessed, filled with happiness, contentment, and forgiveness. Hassan Garba, thank you, Hassan Garba. I will just pick this and then you respond, please. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. You have a minute, please. Who is calling? Okay, you have a minute, please.
Honestly, I think that the user and the INEC, I think they are considered to protecting Nigerians.
Okay.
Okay. You don't call, there is no more evidence. What they have gotten is technicality. I don't know when that comes to be, when we're going to be an evidence of judgment in Nigeria now. What is going on? I don't know what comes to happen in the next future. Okay. Very much voter apathy. That's my fear.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much. That's the much we can take. We apologize. At this point, Mr. Kelvin Engineer, please respond to some of these calls and let's see what we can do in the next 3 minutes, please. I'm so sorry, the time.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me start with the man that started talking about where there's no justice, there will be no peace.
Yes.
Yes. You see, sometimes, yes, that has been the popular saying that where there's no justice. But even sometimes when justice is delivered, if people are not prepared to accept justice, that in itself is a problem.
And justice should not just mean when it goes away.
Your way. That is the perspective. When you're talking about justice, what exactly are you talking about? Are you ready to accept it? You get it.
Not justice, but acceptance.
Yes, accepting the justice that was delivered not in your favor. Right? For me, I can clap for myself. What is justice? Is to obey the rules. Obey the rules, because you will always see what is right in your own perspective. But there's a generally acceptable rules, institutions that we've all agreed under oath as Nigerians that, okay, if someone steals from you, the next place to go is where? Court. If someone hits you, court. If someone, anything, we've all agreed, proceed to the court. Right? To me, that is the best thing to do.
Okay.
These judges are human beings. They are human beings. They could be right, they could be wrong. But since we've agreed that all of us will live under that mercy, you just have to accept it.
Accept it.
You just have to. If
whether
you want
in
peace,
favor,
yes, or against. Yes, there are institutions built by us, and most of us, in our place of responsibilities, in one way or the other, there are decisions you must have taken that so many people are not happy with. There are people who are watching you, they've allowed you be. You're not stronger than them. They would have stopped you, killed you, hit at you, but some have said, well, it was an institution, he took the decision on behalf of the institution, though it did not favor me, I let it go. So we must invite that culture of accepting even the justice itself. 2, the other man said, is it Plasek that took PDP to court? Is it INEC that took PDP to court? It's not INEC, it's not Plasek. These are institutions. These are institutions. It is APC.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your tax taxpayer mansion? How was your
In an act, if you ask him, are you guilty? He will plead not guilty. You have to prove to the world that he's guilty.
Before.
Yes.
So what's
But
your final?
another thing, most of us, we don't want to go and read. We don't know about our society. Then overnight, you develop perhaps one sentimental likeness towards a particular candidate, and you don't know the rules of the game. Then because you cast your vote and you just expect that he's the winner, anything less than that, you're not accepting it. But have you been following?
Okay.
You know the rules. We must know the rules. You understand? The Holy Book says the people perish for lack of knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, ask those who have the knowledge. Ask them, what is the rule?
We have
What
just
does
a
it
minute.
take?
We have just a minute.
These
please.
are the most important
So
things
what
that
would
I think
you
we need
cap
to.
up with? That's your final
Well,
word.
my final thought is the leadership. Just like we in APC, PRP, and Labour, for every decision, you can see Obi went to court. He didn't ask Nigerians to pull the roof down. PDP should learn from that.
Okay.
Yes.
And Plateau citizens, as
Yes.
we expect,
Yes.
the tribunal judgment on
Yes,
the government.
as we expect the
We
tribunal
have just
judgment.
please, yes.
Yes, the people of Plateau State should know that even if you don't win in this court, you still have another court to appeal.
All
It's
right.
not yet over. Therefore, the leaders should tell the people the right thing to do, not to create chaos.
Oh, thank you very much. Doro, I think,
Yes.
let me just on your behalf say
Yeah,
thank
definitely,
you to,
definitely.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my guest in the studio, and of course, my very own producer, Shaibu Doro, and our viewer and our listener for being there. We have come to the end of today's edition of Unity Train. Just stay tuned for other programs that we have on this station. From me, I say bye-bye. Thank you.
Mr. Politician? It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?